Welcome back. So we're getting busy here talking bikes today. We're getting out here, Josh and Heather Arnold from Routes Bicycle Tours. And rentals are here, and we're talking about changing, or not really changing, but if our chain falls off the bike, what do we do? Now, I'm really glad you're here because I like riding the bike, but I always think that, man, if this falls off, what am I going to do? Yeah. So before we get to the demonstration, tell us a little bit about the business you guys run.
Yeah, definitely. So we're Routes Bicycle Rentals and Tours, and that's really what we feature, bicycle rentals and tours all throughout Albuquerque. We have a lot of really fun themed tours, like our haunted tours, or we do Balloon Fiesta. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up, like a New Mexico chili tour. We have Bike and Brew, so you get to taste a lot of the local breweries here.
One of my favorites.
I think you're in good company there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people enjoy that tour as well. I think it's really exciting to have all of these different themes. So if we're out there, maybe we're not on one of the tours with you guys, but we're doing our own thing, chain pops off, what do we do? First question is, what causes it to pop off?
Well, there's a couple things, but the most common is when you're cross-chained. So if you're in, say, the large chain ring here, and this one back here, so the chain's at an angle, and it's being stressed this way, that's the weakest point of the chain. And say you're mountain biking or out there and you just put a lot of force on it, that can cause your chain to break a link.
Gotcha.
So that's probably the most common. There's another thing that you can actually check, and that is sort of the chain stretch. And so it's good every 3,000 to 5,000 miles to replace your chain, but a little tool like this is marked with a 0.5 50% stretch or a 0.75 a 75% stretch.
Okay.
So you just put this in like this, and if it slides in, that means it's 50% stretched. So
And that's
I
bad.
know that's, you know, when you start to get over 50%, it's time to start thinking about replacing.
You know, and I wouldn't even think about the fact that the chain would stretch.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't think of
interesting.
change as being stretchable.
And as it stretches, it actually starts to damage the gears themselves, just because the geometry is changing.
Right.
So,
Okay. So let's say we're riding, the thing pops off. How do we get it back on so we can ride over to Routes? You guys can fix it.
Sure. So,
It's right under your foot.
oh, thank you. So, this little tool is invaluable to actually have out on the trail.
Okay.
This is a park tool. It's a chain breaking tool. So, if I have this, and let's say the chain pops off, I can take out whatever link is bad, sort of put my chain back together.
Right.
So let me sort of show you. I'll take this chain off and I put a new one on, actually.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me do that.
In other words, get out of my way, Chad.
Not at all, not at all. All right, so this just slides right in here to the back side.
Okay, so you're just screwing it in.
Screwing it in
the
through
piece. Okay.
pin, basically, and this pin will...
And it just pops through. So it's just going through. Now you said, is it breaking the chain?
It's called breaking the chain,
What does
so
that
I'm
mean?
basically pushing the pin that's holding the chain together all the way
gotcha,
through the last
gotcha.
plate, and I'm leaving it in, you know, it basically it gets hard there as it slides through the last plate.
Yeah.
And I kind of leave it like this so I can put the chain back together. You can't get that pin back in if it comes out.
Yeah,
So you have
okay.
to be careful with that. Practice a few times. So at this point, the chain is just going to come off. So
So it just slides off there.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And so the chain is now completely off.
And then you just replace it.
And now I just replace it. Or if I'm out on the trail, I can basically just put the chain back together. But so here's the new chain, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate putting this on.
Okay. Now, if for some reason we know, obviously we don't want this to be an emergency situation. We want to, you know, avoid that happening. We know our chain is stretching. We can come down to your shops. You guys can do this for us. Is that right?
That is
definitely.
very
We
correct,
have 3 certified mechanics on hand at all times, so you can definitely bring it down. We'd be able to help you. We're actually moving right to Old Town Plaza, so we'll be right off the bike trail, and we're always available to help.
Fantastic. All right, well, folks, we, of course, will have links on our website at Costa.com under the Style tabs. We're going to go ahead and let you finish putting this chain on so we can ride off, and in the meantime, we're going to